All right, let's take a look at this. Is that showing up? Let's check this out a little closer. I'm gonna try to focus right here. You can see the whole brake pad moving. This means I got a bad wheel bearing. So, wanted to plan to do both of these. I've had good luck with this brand, and I've used the Detroit axle ones also. So this is what we got. It's TRQ, trusted, reliable quality. These ones I did get from Amazon. They took about a week to get here. They got everything wrapped up differently now, which I think is good. There's usually like this wadded up cardboard, and the hub ends up going through in the bottom. But these bearings, they all last about the same. I've used the good ones and the bad ones, and you're looking at about 3 years of usage out of these. I've had some of the real cheap ones. I've had 1 or 2 of them when I've installed them just not be tight, so it's hard to say if it's happened when you were doing it, but I've done enough. When that happened, I felt confident enough that that wasn't a problem. So we're going to start by getting the wheel off, and then removing the brake caliper and the caliper bracket, and then getting that stuff hung off to the side. We have to undo our tie rod end, our lower ball joint, and our strut, and our axle nut. And then we can pull this whole hub off, and we'll get this thing done. All right, so we have everything here removed. I'm thinking that the axle nut was not tight when I hit it with the impact, and the last person that would have had that out was when they did the transmission, I believe. So it could be an issue from that. But I'm going to just kind of dust everything down here quick before we reinstall this. Any of this extra grease around here I'm going to clean off. Here is our knuckle. It is removed. You can clearly see that we've got wobbles. It'll be less noticeable. That's pretty bad. Right there. It'll be less noticeable when the smaller you get. When you have your wheel and stuff and it's out, you know, sticking way out here on the end of this, you can see it a lot better. So I'm going to show you what you got to do to get this out and get the new one in. This can be done many ways. You need to get this center hub out. I just kind of hold on to this with my feet a little bit. There we go. You can tell I've done that a lot with this impact socket. Alright, now that that's off, I gotta keep this. We need that part. This is 13 mil, so I'm gonna take that off, and then I'll be able to press the bearing out of here, down this way, which this is actually supposed to go on this side. I'll just put a large socket on here, and I'll put this on my press, and it'll push it out after I pull this end off here. And I'm just going to put this in the parts washer. It's obviously pretty dirty, covered with a little bit of grease from the ball joint, and from a little bit from this bearing, obviously. It's a good thing we got new hub. This has a serious amount of wear right here. That's probably why this didn't want to come out. You can reuse these, but I just highly recommend putting new in. You'd have to cut this and then split this with a chisel, and then try to smooth this the best that you can. Sometimes you will have issues reusing them, but we've got all new. All right, this is what this looks like off. You do not want to damage this by trying to press the whole hub out at one time. I've seen people do this. Amazingly, at least once a year, somebody puts a Facebook post up that they have damaged this, pressing the bearing out, or they have a car that has this missing because the last person damaged this and didn't reinstall it, and this bearing had walked itself out of the hub, and the rotor is rubbing the inside of the caliper bracket, just causing damage to everything, and there's play, so try not to damage it. Let's go get this pressed out. All right, we had our press, we made it work. I took the time to clean up both knuckles. They're all nice and painted black. I use a high temp gloss black paint that you would use for an engine. Both of the wheel bearings are pressed into here. We replaced both of our plates. Everything is nice and tight and ready to go back on. This thing's about ready to hurt some feelings. Look at this here. Everything's good, nice and tight, no more play. I'm in the middle of getting the passenger side installed here, so we have everything working on going back together, getting the axle seated. We have our lower ball joint tightened up. I'm getting the upper set up here. We got to throw our tie rod end in and just get our brakes and everything back on. We have a couple more things to do to this. Looks like we're gonna need a headlight bulb, so we get to figure out what kind of a headlight's in these demon eyes and get that replaced. And we have a side marker bulb that's bad on the passenger side yet to replace. We're gonna double check the air conditioning and just look this thing over yet a little bit. And then we're down to getting this thing cleaned up, so there'll be a whole different video for that. But we're not gonna go too crazy. We're just gonna give it a quick vacuum and a wipe down and a nice good hand wash, because this car is definitely deserving of it. But I'm gonna get the rest of this passenger side one together here, and then we'll check out some bulbs and actually get to see what's in one of these demon eyes as far as a headlight bulb. Nice and tight, ready to go.